Hey folks, welcome back to Around the Yard. We're getting a little splitting done here this morning. Yesterday I got that tote done that you just saw, got moved off. Pulled this out of the barn. It's got cottonwood fall of 2021 on it, so I think this is probably the second cycle now for this tote, or third cycle, excuse me. So it had cottonwood in it. We just bundled some maple out of it, so that's in the roadside stand now this weekend, and this will be the third time filling it. So if you're careful with these things, they do last several years. So I think I'm up to about 40 of them, and I was just kind of making a count here. I think I've got about 7 left to fill, but I've got all this wood left here, and then behind the camera we got wood everywhere. So I'm on the lookout for more totes. So all right, so there's what we're gonna get split up today. Yesterday I got half of this done, and I had one more row over here, so that was a full face cord. I'm kind of guessing there's another cord here, maybe a little light, maybe a little heavy of that, but yeah, we're gonna get the Wolfe Ridge fired up here shortly. Got it connected to the lawnmower so I can move it around and get it closer to the piles. So this machine has 50.3 hours on it. I've had it for about 1.5 years. December, give or take, will be that 1.5 year mark. It's got a lot of idle hours on it because, as you guys know, basically every hour is on YouTube, short of a handful. Lots of it, like I said, is idle hours. There's probably been, I don't know, 10, maybe 15 cords through this thing. I've got about 30 totes filled, so yeah, probably 10 cords, give or take. So yeah, it's been a really good machine. Looking at upgrading to another box wedge. And the reason for kind of departing ways with this one is there's a couple little tweaks. One, this is a 30-inch stroke, and that's kind of the main thing. I thought I was going to do more, 24 to 28-inch wood. I've got a wood furnace in the basement. You guys have seen a few videos of that. It takes a 28-inch piece of wood, easy peasy. So I thought, well, what I'm gonna do is I'll have my boiler wood or my furnace wood, then I'll have bundle wood. And really that just hasn't been the case. It's a lot easier, I found, to cut everything to 16 inches or thereabouts, so that 15 to 17 range. One, everything can be bundled, and then two, it burns just fine in the wood furnace at 16 inches as if it were 20 or 28. Those last 2 totes of oak that I had shown you guys in the previous video to this, those are maybe upwards of 20 inches. And that was more due to, I didn't want to waste it. So the tree service dropped off a 36-inch piece of oak, or rather than have a 16 and a 16 and a 4, I just cut it in half, and we did 18 or 19-inch pieces, whatever that winds up being. And there again, I know that's going to go in the wood furnace. It's almost ready to go now, so it's going to be this year's wood. It's been sitting down there drying in log form for probably the better part of 3 or 4 years. So yeah, anyhow, so that's kind of the main reason for maybe putting this thing up for sale, is just I don't use that 30-inch stroke. I want to get something that's a little bit more efficient on the stroke length. I do have the stroke limiters on this, so right now we're set up for 24-inch. Yeah, there's just a couple little small tweaks, and then talking with Wolfe Ridge Engineering, I think we might do a little something different with the table, but that'll be a paid-for extra. Now they have, this is a weld-on table, now they have bolt-on aluminum. So hopefully talk to them about maybe changing a couple of things, very small tweaks, but I think they would help my process. So anyhow, still an experiment. Like I said, let's get this Wolfe Ridge fired up, and we'll run a few rounds here. So Oops. I guess we already primed up. Wow, that's a first. Must be cold. inches by 2 inches. You can just pile these up. That's what I like about this box wedge. Here's a triangle. That's got the triangles that you do get, you can usually break apart. You still got good bundle wood. So I'm really liking this 2x4 wedge. It does this quite a bit on the outside edges, and that's why you guys are seeing me run the round through once, flip it 180 degrees, and run it through again. I get more pieces like this and 2 usable pieces for bundle wood. These are kind of the bigger pieces that come out of it. Again though, breaks off, you still got a nice triangle here. Right? Not bad. Not quite an all-night burner, but perfect for bundles. Here's another one. That's that box wedge breaking that apart. This is not trash. This is bundle wood. Same thing with this. You can see how the box wedge is slicing it here to here, kind of splitting it from here to here. This is split all the way on the back side, so. This is getting a little short, but I found that, turn the motor off. So here's a little bit of scrap. This is getting a little bit short, but I have started selling 1 foot wide bundles only as I come across the stuff. So this is kind of like, I don't know, smaller wood stove, or maybe an outdoor fire pit, or just some kindling to kind of get stuff going. But if it's about 1 foot or so, I'll throw this in the middle of the tote, basically. And I usually get a bundle or 2 out of each tote. And they sell at the roadside stand. So there is a market for that 12-inch stuff, 12-inch bundle wood. It's, I don't know, I don't like to have too many varying lengths. So really it's a 16-inch stuff and 8, 10, 12 or 10, 12-inch really makes the other bundles. But like I said, there isn't a whole lot of that. A lot of my cookies and stuff just go to my personal burning and whatnot. But yeah, just wanted to kind of go through that with you. Like, this is borderline trash. I would tend to agree with you guys, but you know, the other thing that the box wedge is doing, and I split a lot of ash, is okay, here's what else comes off the box wedge. Bark. Okay, full, you know, almost 16-inch pieces of bark is coming off this box wedge. Okay, I'll level with you. This is trash, but I'd rather that it comes off now in the wood yard, hits my ground, than hitting my customer's driveway or coming off in the bundle and they've got a whole bunch of bark to deal with. I'd rather sell almost, you know, by and large, barkless ash is 90% of what we sell here. I've got some maple, a little bit of oak, but basically my tree service is bringing me ash. And so that's what we put out in the roadside stand. So yeah, all the bark that's coming off, yes, it's trash, but it's also coming off here versus in the customer's driveway or in the baskets and just creating debris that, you know, breeds rodents and whatnot. So I like it better coming off here. I know lots of guys don't like a box wedge because it creates too much trash. I can tell you by experience that what creates trash is the multi-knife design. So you're gonna get the least amount of trash with a single knife. You get a little bit more trash running a 4-way, a little bit more running a 6-way, a little bit more running a box wedge. This is a 7-way box. You'd get a little bit less running a 5-way box, but you're gonna get a lot more trash running a 10-way or a 12-way wedge. Dad and I ran that 12-way wedge just a week or so ago, and we had all kinds of trash. But that's because it was splitting against 12 edges and cutting more than it was splitting. So that's really the difference. It's not that a box wedge creates a whole lot of trash, it's that there's 7 edges for that to cut on. So you're gonna get more trash out of that than you would, say, a single knife. But on the flip side, I get 4 to 6 really nice pieces of firewood for every cycle on this Wolfe Ridge versus say for a single knife or a vertical splitter, or just putting the single knife in this. In order to get those same 6 pieces, I'd have to run that stroke 7 times minimum. You know, once and half, make some bookends, and then, you know, run it through. So to each their own. There isn't a right or a wrong way to do this, guys. It's whatever works best for you. And for me, that's the box wedge. I like that I can set that thing, forget it, and it pulls it right back and it's ready for the next pass while I come over here and stack into the tote. I thought I was gonna go, and it's still up for debate, to whether or not we just pile the wood in, but I need a little better system to split off of the table here and fall into the tote. Ideally, be nice if the top of the tote here was equal to the table, so that everything came off would just fall into the tote, and then we could move the tote. The fact that I have to kind of shovel it in here anyway, I might as well kind of semi-stack it. Plus then I get more volume in a tote. I think constructive thought here is that if you stack into these bigger 330-gallon IBC totes, you get about a full face cord. If you've got the smaller 275s, if you dome them up or heap them, then you get pretty close to that face cord. But if they're straight across so that you can stack totes, then I think you're getting down to that quarter cord. There again, too, if you got the big totes and you just let it loosely roll in and you're just taking up, you know, a loose stack of volume, I think you're closer to that quarter cord again. So anyhow, it's just how it works, and how I've kind of experienced it. But I am running out of totes, so for the next 6 or 7, I think we're going to be stacking into them versus, you know, letting it just pile in loose, because I'm running low. I've got to line on some more totes, so I've got to either get the deck over out, or I got a buddy that's got an even longer trailer. I just need to decide how many totes we're going to go get. My deck over is 18-foot tip to tail with the beaver tail. I've got a buddy that's got a 24-foot tip to tail, so that'd give us another, I don't know, 4 or 8 totes. So it might be worth going with the longer trailer. But yeah, we'll keep you guys posted. I'm gonna keep running these last couple rounds, and yeah, we'll catch you later. Have a great day around the yard, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.